Hey everyone, quick into the intro here. You know, getting out of the intro. It is Tuesday, February 11th. Me and Cyril are here in the studio. She just came up right in time. Hey, Real. So anyway, yeah, four conventions, technically five with the online one, but a few medium sized, one big, a couple of small, and now I'm getting into some more intense ones. I'll be at Undead of Winter this weekend in Milton, Pennsylvania, and then I'm going to be in Worcester, Massachusetts for Dead of Winter. So Undead of Winter's on the 14th and 15th at the Shoe Factory, and Dead of Winter is on whatever that Friday and not Friday, Saturday and Sunday is. I think that's the 22nd, 23rd, maybe. And that's at the Mechanics Hall. So, and then I'll be back. I'll be doing the live stream next week, but I won't be here on the weekend, the week of the, what is that, the 24th or whatever. Hey, Anthony, how you doing? I saw you were in, was MegaCon, were you at MegaCon with Frank, I think? Maybe? Thought I saw you. Thought I saw an update there about that. But yeah, so two more this month. I got a few lined up for next month, and pretty much my my convention schedule's all hey Will, how you doing? Afternoon for you. It's 8:00 at night here, but greetings. I haven't seen you over here in a while. Yeah, I have quite a few lined up for March, and as it stands right now, maybe my entire schedule is already planned out for the year as far as shows go. I mean, technically, a lot of my schedule is planned out for work, but there's still stuff coming in. Yeah, I'm just checking the comments because I have it up on my phone over there. So anyway, yeah, I've been sketching for weeks. I think I've narrowed it down to the pieces I'm going to be working on. Maybe one or two today, but not finish them, but I'll be working on them today as soon as the cat's out of the way. But yeah, while she's occupying my drawing hand, what else do I got going? A lot of work behind the scenes right now in Chadiana. What do we got? Yeah, it's never been to a con before. Oh, Stimulation Overload. Oh, you've never been to any con before, or just MegaCon? I heard MegaCon was crazy. I also heard some people did not do as well as they usually do. Not that attendance was down by any means. Kind of a weird show. Hope Frank did okay. I reached out to him a couple times. And hope you enjoyed it, Anthony. That's cool. I'm glad it if it was stimulation overload, I'm sure it was intense and fun, Oh, this cat. Again, as soon as she moves, where I can get enough stuff out of the way to be able to work. But yeah, I've already got October's mostly booked. September's booked at this point. I have some weekends off, but I got to do that to get some work done. Oh, I was saying behind the scenes work on Chadiana. Yeah, been working on that stuff. Plus, trying to get some stuff off of my to-do list so that I can get to other things too, including putting out these long-standing issues that I haven't put out with Chadiana. Zero Con's not even as a guest. Then I go with our Trial by Fire. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a very intense way to do it. Well, I hope it was good for you. I hope you enjoyed it. What's up, really? She was, while he was working this morning, she wouldn't leave me alone. It was an interesting morning with you, lady. Hmm. Yeah, I put up with you pretty well. Anyway, I'm gonna start getting things going over here. Let's get the drawing table out. Yes, lady, what's up? Now they can see just close-ups of you going at the camera and everything. So yeah, I think I've been sketching on this show and on the Whatnot shows for a couple of weeks now. Where did we start those? That was this, which I posted, and then we went here and here, 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 here. Oh my god. I think this was on the last show. That was too. Yeah. Getting a little closer. Sorella, don't drink the paint. Thank you. So I will eventually be doing this witch and cat one, which she's walking right across, and that dragon. These guys as well. Move that down a little bit. But I think I'm going to have to work just so that it still stays timely. I'm probably going to have to get those other Nosferatu pieces done. Right? More thumbnails. I'm probably going to be doing 2 dragon pieces. So, yeah. This is how I feel about my art all the time. Anyway. So, yeah. Probably going to be those Nosferatu pieces. I gotta do that Nosferatu as well. The rat one. Just trying to set up the page a little bit. I'm trying to be better on these smaller ones of actually giving myself some extra room to work with. I used to not measure out a border around them. But it's good for composition. I am trying to work on some other stuff that isn't just print work, but, you know, those other things take time. And I can't really do them during the live streams. I mean, I don't think they'd make for entertaining live streams. Let me put it that way. I might be revisiting my computer animation / computer modeling days because I plan to be doing some 3D sculpts just to add something new to my stuff on the table. Measuring is always my least favorite thing to do. I just hate using rulers. They're really boring to me. But be what it be. How did I put one there but not the other? I must have drawn it too light. Can't believe she left already. Seems too early for her to be giving up. That's going to be a lot less precise, obviously. I don't need it to be that perfect. Okay. Hang on, just looking something up. Getting a little tickle. All right, there we go. All right, so forgot my watercolor tray was still wet. Maybe I should move that. You watched a 40-minute tutorial on plumb site. I mean, if you like measuring, that's fine, Anthony. I can't stand it. I find it very tedious and mechanical, and I hate things like that. Personally speaking, and that's coming from somebody that really likes what do you call it? Drawing very geometrically, because I tend to draw very boxy, for lack of a better term. So let's see here. I had a theory here on how I was going to do this and why. And yeah, I think I'm still going to have to. Wait a second. No, okay, yeah. I think I am going to do it that way. I don't want it on the center line, that's for sure. Oh, it was sarcasm. Oh, that's good to know. I don't know. I mean, some people don't mind doing the whole measuring thing, Some people are into it, I guess. Hey, Sorella, that's a really great position for everyone's view. And try to turn this a little bit, maybe move it over. Doesn't matter. The cat's just going to get in front of it no matter where I put it. Do 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 do. Okay, get a little left shadow on it over there. No, that's not working. What's up, Rel? I know, but people are trying to watch, and it's hard enough to see my light sketch lines in the beginning. Mhm. 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 Ah. What is this new thing you're doing lately? Past couple of months, it's just sitting right in front of me when I'm drawing. Lovely cat. Just a lovely, lovely cat. No, I think putting him in shadow is better. What I'm trying to do, open link. Okay. I don't like the angle I got on that. Sorry, I'm just pulling up references as I work over here. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-dun, da-dun, dun. Mhm. Dun, 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 dun. Gonna have to move that one over a bit. Dun, 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 dun. Mm-mm-mm. Mhm. Okay. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do, da-da-da-da. All right, that one is right. Okay, right. All right. This might help a little bit more. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do. Did I put in this one? The next show. Do you mean the and by the way, what's up, Rob? Do you mean the next convention? Because I'm at one this weekend in Milton, Pennsylvania. That's the Undead of Winter, which is a very good show. I did it for the first time last year. I'm excited to go back. I didn't quite follow my rule, and it appears I'm going to be doing closer to like 43 conventions this year. Well, 39 and 4 online conventions. It just kind of happened that everyone started booking like crazy and opening their applications, and between the ones that I wanted to try and the ones that I already planned to do, yeah, it just kind of got a little out of control again. What a surprise. I overdid it. But yeah, so I have a week off in March, though. That's good. And I'll have the Sunday off because it's only, this one only does Friday and Saturday. But which one, are you wondering maybe which one's local? Because I'll be at the New Jersey Horror Con in Edison at the beginning of March. And then, I mean, if you can get into it, there's Monster Mania in the middle of March. Milton's a little over 2 hours away, though, so I don't know if you're going to want to make that trip. Nosferatu. Yeah, I got like 2, technically 3 more pieces I want to do, and then I might have to call it quits for a little bit, just in the interest of getting more work done on other things that really do need time. And it appears I got a freelance job coming in, which I wasn't sure. Well, I knew I sort of had gotten the job 2 weeks ago, but I wasn't sure yet how solid the chances were that I got it, but apparently it seems pretty stable now, so it's just more cover work for a book series. So that'll be fun. Yeah, you probably should. Although, damn, I didn't update it with the ones that I booked today. But those are all not until September and October. There's another New Jersey Horror Con and Film Festival that's going to be in Edison last weekend in September. And the first weekend in October, I'm doing the New York Blood and Ink Tattoo and Horror Convention in White Plains. Those haven't been added. And Ocean City Con, New Jersey, which is going to be in April. First weekend in April. I didn't add that yet either. So, just be forewarned. There's a couple more to add. And, I still want to be able to get up to Salem in October. I've only got like maybe one weekend that's going to be available for that. And I at least have an application in for a Dragon Con. That's gonna try for that again. I don't know if Cirque du Creep or Grimoire Studios does any more shows. I'm gonna have to grab them because they're just really good for me. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna stick to my rule that I'm gonna be. Well, I'm definitely not sticking to the 30 to 35 rule. It's already too late for that. But I don't know if I'll be able to even get into, I'm going to be able to keep it under 40. It can't go to 50 though. I physically cannot do it. So, and I have so much work to do. Although I will say this, I got to give you Patreon people some updates. Rob being one of them. I got back to working a very regular schedule in the studio again. So, and that's been helping me, even amongst all the chaos, getting a lot of work done. It was near impossible in January because every convention on my list was opening up table registrations. And I gotta work, so no, I don't say it like that because I really love doing conventions, but I also gotta make money, so I gotta make sure they're on my list and scheduled. So yeah, Rob, and anyone watching this, there's a lot of opportunity to see me on the road, let me just put it in over here. If you go to jmdesantis.com/events, you will get almost my whole show list. Let me go over to comments over here. I can't post comments to some destinations. Kiss my butt. There you go. There you go. They're over there. jmdesantis.com/events. Or if you just go to jmdesantis.com, events and shows or events and appearances is on the sidebar. I'm still trying to update the site a bit because I've got a few things that need to be added. Like I'm still updating very slowly my what are those things? My art portfolios, and a lot of the writing pages should be updated too. Plus, I just should rearrange some things so that they're easier to find. But for the moment, right? I will eventually get the face right, but it might take a little time. Not as far out. Not as far out. That might be a problem. We'll get it. Yeah. So I'm going to have a companion piece to this where it's on the opposite side. It's the original, and it'll be the original version of Ellen. So that's my idea. I wasn't going to draw the new guy, but I decided, a lot of people expect to see him too, so I might as well give him a more official go than the sketch card I did a few weeks ago. All right, Rob. Anyway, man. Eyes got to tense up a bit. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I mean, if I go by those shadows, I'd be better off. To a certain extent. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Actually, this hand seems to cross over the other one more. She really wraps those fingers. That is a tight grip. Might work better. All right. Okay, so I really need a good picture of her hair somewhere, though. That one's not going to be big enough. I know it. Oof. We're doing okay with it. All right. Now he's got to put the moon in somewhere. All right. What did that town look like in the new one? See, I feel like I know the original rooftops off the top of my head. The new one, not as well. Not as well at all. Ooh, We got that picture anywhere? Picture of like Orlok's shadow going over the town. That won't be perfect because it's not exactly. Right. Might want to furrow his brow more. Hey, Jim. I was wondering if you'd make it today. I know it's everybody's favorite when you and I talk languages, but man, I had done quite a lot on them today. I'm not going to be able to get that right. I've been spending like 2 to 3 hours a day on them, just trying to get them in good shape. Oh, Cirilla. Yeah, today was a little slow. This one was all over my stuff today while I was trying to work, but it just seemed like a grind because I was back on grammars today, which I don't know. That's where I always struggle the most. Whether learning a language or creating one, which is weird, right? Because I think I've said in the past when I was taking Italian, I was very good with grammar. So I don't know what the deal is with this stuff. Oh yeah, it's a cat's love. You know, I kind of felt very proud of the fact that I was good at grammar, but now, yeah, that seems to be. What are you doing? Why are you pressing up against my hand? I'm not trying to push you off. I'm just trying to move my hand up. I swear. Uh, yeah, I don't know why I'm struggling on the grammar stuff. It's just, you know what it is? Word order is fine, but then once we start getting into like morphology, that's when, although I find it a fascinating read, believe it or not, it does start becoming extremely confusing after a while, especially the way some languages work. And again, even though I'm trying not to do an exact copy, I'm trying to get the flavor. So I'll look at like general stuff in multiple languages and see what I can compile from it. Yeah, it's not easy. Definitely isn't. So the grammar, yeah, that's going to take a little bit. The good thing is, again, like, I'm working in mostly language families, even though I'm doing a bunch of different ones. So, and they're mostly similar. Like, even though I'm doing one Bantu language and one Dravidian type language, they're going to come from the same proto. And that, I mean, since it almost works out perfectly, like, because Dravidian languages are usually exclusively suffixal. They're both a agglutinative, but and Bantus tend to be prefixes. So I'm like, okay, well, the proto languages have a mix of the two, like, but still, lot of work. It's a lot of work for sure. I feel like I'm getting, why am I getting all these messages here? What do we got? Anything good? Anything good? Nothing in particular. Cool stuff. Oh yeah, no, I'm not too worried about that. Actually, I found out something about Arabic that I was like, oh, this is cool. I could adapt this into a concept in my own world that fits into it neatly. I'll just change the actual thing of it. And the same thing's happening with a lot of the other languages. I'm like trying to push past research and just into creation, but I want all of the languages to fundamentally function like, at least the language family that they sit within. And, to a certain degree, I want them to very much resemble a specific language, at least in certain certain attributes. Although I found out, and I probably knew this before, Arabic out of all of them is like extremely predictable in the way it works. And I'm like, well, I have one language that I want more to be Arabic like. So maybe I start there and work backwards. Because I'm going to have to do that anyway to a certain degree since I coined words all over the place. I tried to explain, because my parents think that the language thing, well, they're getting used to it, but they always thought it was just like a dumb thing that was holding up my storytelling. Not a dumb thing. They didn't say it like that, but I don't want to mischaracterize them. They just didn't feel like it was the most important thing. Or were wondering if it wasn't maybe less important. Anyway, so I was trying to explain to them the way I've gone about working on the languages, and this is a great way to frame it for you, Jim. Imagine if I was writing a novel, but I worked on like chapter 19, and then I kind of got like a few paragraphs in, and then I didn't touch it for like a couple of months. And then when I got back to it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to chapter 25. And then a couple months later, maybe I finished chapter 25, maybe I only got halfway through, but then I was like, chapter 1 sounds like a better place to start. And then in the middle of writing chapter 1, I might be like, you know what I could do though with chapter 18 leading into 19, and I go bounce off and do that. And that's kind of how I've done the languages up to now. I've always just kind of like had a vague idea of how I wanted them to work, and then just kind of like threw together what I wanted to in a moment, and didn't, just like if I had a vague idea for a novel. But I'm the type that needs to write an outline before I work on something creatively. Even with artwork, I feel like my artwork comes out better when I've spent some time like doing sketches, and like developing ideas before I just go right into a finished piece. So, that's the best way I can describe my previous work on my conlangs was just not very organized, although sometimes it would be, and then I would change the organization. I think we've spoken about this before, so I'm trying to just compile years of scattered work and research, and it's taking some time, but that's why I stopped writing for last month and this month and just gave all my writing time up to getting the languages done. No, well, not all of them. By the end of this, I'm hoping to have at least those two families worked out pretty well because I need the one language for Chadiana number 3, to actually have it down and not have to go back and change anything again. Fortunately, that one has a lot of words coined in it. I just want to make sure I have, at least the mother language and that worked out so that I know, okay, now this, here's the words, here's stuff that might have come from the original language that people spoke, a couple words from an alien language that came in later. We're good. Oh, yeah. Well, my story, the thing is, Chadiana number 3 has been done for a couple of years now, which is embarrassing, especially because I ran a Kickstarter. Oh man, I'm going to out myself as being really unprofessional here, but I think it was like 3 years ago now. Successful. And I got to fulfill that Kickstarter, which includes all of the issues in the collection. So I got to get issue 3 out and I got to get issue 4 out. I am not for any other reason than what the cover price will have to be, and it would have been too much then too. I'm going to have to cut issue 4 out and move it to issue 5, which is fine because I kind of had 2 endings. There were 2 stories that could have worked as the end of this one. So I'm going to cut one out. I'm going to cut 2 stories out that are related and give them as the ending for the second collection, which is fine because the one story is like a 28-page story, which I've written and have started the thumbnail out, but it was supposed to be done by another artist. And that's the artist that kind of bailed on me, which made the whole thing kind of fall apart. To a certain extent, on one hand, and then of course, once it fell apart a bit and I really got to look at what I was doing with the language bit in it, I was like, you know what, you're going to go back and you're going to want to rework this. But then, here I am still years into it. I don't mind talking about it, but it's not usually the way I operate. So I feel like I'm losing a lot of credibility in the short term because of how I've gone about this. I'm hoping in the long term to fix that, but I don't think I'll be able to fix it without making sure that this is done properly. So again, I'm giving myself to the end of February to get things in order with these languages, these particular ones, and then I'll go down to about an hour a day, maybe an hour a week to finish up the rest of them, because I know now this might give you a heart attack, Jim, but what did I say? There's 5 language families, maybe 6 with one isolate, but it's like 23 languages altogether. Now, given in a family, and I'm not being too, I'll have some changes. I might just use certain things that are just already in existence, like the Canaanite shift and Grimm's Law and stuff like that, just apply it to things just to be a little bit expedient with it. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. It's my very I just feel like I should have done this. And, a lot of people can say that about things that they've worked on. But I do feel like I should have done all this stuff 20 years ago, Although when I was younger and really didn't know what I was doing, I kind of like burned myself out with it at one point and just abandoned the project until Chadiana came around. And then, as I think I've spoken about before, I always wanted to spend more time creating than I did working on languages. So it's catching up with me. It's what's happening now. And I got to get myself out of trouble here. All right. That's good. Yeah, it definitely is challenging. But you know what? I think that I'm trying to embrace the detail-oriented part of my personality right now and just be like, you know what? Like, I don't think you can do it differently. And maybe people will appreciate the detail-orientedness of this. Actually, I gotta say, to a certain extent, Robert Eggers talking about just how meticulous he is about creating his stuff. And I know there are other creators that I really have always been drawn to that are very meticulous. I just, it's what happened to me when I started learning how to just, instead of just write my novels from beginning to end, like actually outline them. Yeah, it slows down the process, it seems, in the beginning, but in the end, it goes a lot faster. And that's just because, like, I was like, well, I'm definitely more of a planning type, so why fight it? And when these two language families are worked out, then I'll feel like I have a little bit of time and experience, more dedicated, focused time and experience in creating this stuff, so that when I do the other ones, it'll seem a little bit easier. And right now I'm working on both languages that are relatively newer in the timeline. I mean, older in the timeline. They're like some of the original ones. So I feel a certain amount of pressure to get them right because I don't want to wind up with words that I don't like later. That has always bothered me. Like, what if I coin a word now, but it shifts through the ages and then it becomes like a really dumb sounding word that I don't like. But and then it creates names that I just hate. But part of the thing is too, I'm trying to make them mirror languages that I don't have as much experience with. I mean, I've said I want to learn Arabic, but I haven't learned it. Right now I'm learning Hindi, but Hindi is still an Indo-European language. So in that regard, it functions closer to English than, say, Malayalam does, or the Bantu languages like Swahili. So, bit of a learning curve. Yeah. I'm still up to the task, though. Oh my God. Wow, there's 3 other people besides you listening to all this language nonsense. I say nonsense, but I never know how much it's of interest to the other viewers. But to back up everything I'm doing, Jim, again, it feels at least very like I'm actually getting somewhere. Kind of like I felt like I was getting somewhere during the pandemic when I was really seriously working out a lot of the framework for all this. So, all right. How we doing over here? Gotta say, as a side note, I don't feel like it's been a huge growth, but in less than a month, I've gotten over 1,000 more followers on my Instagram. And it's all because I've been running a general ad for my stuff, but I've also been boosting to Nosferatu posts. And yeah, people have been following me based on those. So I don't know. I know some people are not happy that the social media is mostly working for people that run ads, but social media did not work for me not running ads. So I gotta say that I'm a fan at the very least. Not of social media, but at least the ads are getting me results. So if you're ever on the fence, yeah, thank you. You know, it's still got to hit that like 5,000, then 10,000. I know that seems not that the numbers matter so much, but I just feel like if I had that many people in certain industries, might take me just a little bit more seriously. Yeah, every bit of progress is satisfying and that is true. And I think I've said way previously, there was a lot of work that I did do on these. I just was not entirely sure of what I was doing, and what I thought I was doing was not necessarily I wasn't keeping as good of notes as I thought, because a lot of times I would just throw something together in the heat of a moment and be like, I'll figure that out later, you know. So, you know, there's still a lot of rich stuff to mine from. You know what really kind of sucks about it, Jim, is like, you know, I mean, the going advice is always to start with the Swadesh list. And I actually decided, I found that, you know, I had those 23 words that really haven't changed their meaning in English too much over the course of it. I guess, I don't know if that goes all the way to pi, but PIE. But anyway, I found two other things that I found the, what is it, the ASJ, I don't know, ASGP and the EHL. Both of them had lists of words that they thought were pretty stable. And the EHL has like 100-word list, which isn't much different than the Swadesh list, but then it had a 50-word list. I compiled all those words together and I thought, okay, these will be the most stable words in every language that, you know, Once I coin them here, they'll pretty much stay for everyone, which will make my job easier. Fine. But going back to the Swedish list, people tell you to start with that. I'm just saying that I'm starting with this smaller list of about, I think it works out to about 56 words. And then I move on to the Swedish list. But most of the words that I coined from beginning these projects all the way to now, if I like coined them in the heat of the moment or, you know, in a story or whatever, they're usually not on the Swedish list. So a lot of times I have these words where it's like, maybe I can, depending on the word, I can work backwards to get stuff on the Swedish list from them. But a lot of times it's like, yeah, they're just unrelated roots that aren't going to do me any good in filling in that list. But it doesn't matter. Those are the words that I'm usually going to, some of them I'm going to coin, some of them I'm going to use the, at least in the proto languages, I'm going to use the, what is that? The theoretical roots? That's not the word for it. The reconstructed roots of protos, of real life protos. So, as a starting point. So, but if it helps understand the craziness of this, like the one language that I need for, say, the Chaudhyana issue, right? I think I have words scattered throughout scripts. I have, I think, 4, possibly 5, if you count the ones that are compilations of languages, different documents made throughout the years with this language in it. Probably aspects of it in certain notebooks. Yeah, it's like I'm doing a research project just to make sure I got everything together. So that hopefully the idea is that it'll start to make things easier in the long run. Everyone else listening to this must be like, this man is nuts. No wonder why he didn't put a book out last year. He's just lost his mother effing mind. Hey. I'm just checking out the likes, seeing who had stopped in on Facebook at least. Anyway. Well, I guess she'd be casting a shadow, all things considered. Maybe not there. Let's see. And then, guess, right. I'll figure it out. Do-do-do-do-do. Because I can throw my signature right down there. Now the question is, do I ink it first and then do the 1922 version. Probably. It'll be easier to see. Yeah, I'm sure that did make it a lot easier. And when I first started the languages, yeah, it was more like that. But I think my vision for it changed. My vision for it changed only because as I started learning more about other languages, and since I was trying to represent other cultures, I just felt like, well, why am I going to continue to just focus on languages that look and feel like European languages? So then I started looking for real world sources for the others. I mean, the others were always based on other languages because, I mean, like in a very like predictable turn, originally the dwarf language was based on Old Norse, and Elvish was based on like Welsh and Finnish because that's what Tolkien had done. So I was still looking at other languages, but so there was always a little bit of that going on. But then, yeah, as it grew, so too did the number of inspirations and things I had to research for it. Here we go. Damn ruler's out again. I just want to make sure I have this right. So we got that and that. That's a window frame. It should have a straight line. My least favorite thing to do. It's funny because I am so meticulous and orderly, but then taking out a ruler makes me feel like I'm in a prison. Like I'm just chained down. Some of the words I have coined, though, already are going to contradict things that are in real world languages, and that's fine because I also look at the stuff as like a fictional history, but also so long ago that it would have been like lost to history anyway. So, any resemblances are just I guess half remembered borrowings from a forgotten past. I mean, I think for some readers it would be an extremely interesting thing. Just, I got to get it to a point where people can enjoy the intricacies, Yeah, history is always fuzzy, and I don't want to give away anything too much about it, but I always looked at it. I know Tolkien wrote in such a way that it seemed like it could have been a prehistory, but then he would say that Arda didn't exist on Earth and everything. Robert E. Howard was more direct, although he wasn't a linguist. But I kind of take a little bit from both, and my feeling is, the history I'm doing would be like pre-Atlantean or pre-flood, so to speak, you know. I'm not saying that there's any religious connotations in it. I just know that there's a lot of, at least a decent amount of historical evidence for there being one or multiple floods, you know. Flood stories are pretty common, so I just figure, yeah, this is what would have existed. And not for many, like, specific one, just like a generic, yeah, before things kind of like changed in the world, you know. Again, it's taking for granted a lot of things that are actually historical, but you know, I'm not trying to do a rewrite history. I'm certainly not trying to create a religion around like a whole set of fictional stories. Just, you know, having fun. Having fun and trying to at least portray the theoretical idea of just a common beginning for everything. This is usually a lot more work than I put into these pencils, but I want to make sure I get this rightish and then, you know, correctish before I move on to inking it. Will I start inking it tonight? Probably not. I don't know. I guess it depends on how comfortable I feel with the result here. Yeah, 2 more pieces. And they should be fairly easy to do because the one piece will just be all black and white. And this one's only going to have touches of color anyway because Robert Eggers' movie is so damn dark anyway. Not expressing any issue with that, just it is a very visually dark movie. Beautifully shot, though. I think the cinematographer deserves an Academy Award for it. Of course, that's without knowing what else might lie ahead in cinema, but I haven't watched the Academy Awards in such a long time. And although I hadn't watched them before the Will Smith incident, I have to say that has not warmed me up to watching them again. I don't know. I know that it's kind of like off to the side there, but you know, we can all see how it's coming along. I feel like I'm going to have to look up more reference. Thanks, Jim. I'm trying to give it a pretty authentic look. I guess it'll mostly be in blacks and blues. I just did a piece that was like that. I've been doing a lot of ink washes underneath my watercolors. I don't know if I've mastered it yet, though. It just seems to be an easier way of making sure. I never used to like the concept of underpaintings, but it certainly helps get the values, which is all the light and dark, correct or worked out before beginning a piece. And must be the cat. Oh, I still got a little Dr. Pepper left. Oh man. Now on to the big seltzer. This one's a little spicy. It says spiced pear cider seltzer, though. Non-alcoholic, of course, but yeah, it does kind of have a spice to it, which is different for seltzer, but I like it. Oh man. Okay. I feel like I'm just watching my paper rather than working on it. Oh man. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I think that's going to come down a little lower. All right. Don't think I can get it that much closer. A little bit. The problem is when the cat comes on, then she just wreaks havoc on this. Okay. All right. Not too much else I wanted to do with it. Oh wait, I think that was back further. I'm trying to work it out where I'm not doing as much fan art too, although this one really qualifies as fan art for sure. I mean, copyrighted stuff, not public domain. The other one, the actual like 1922 Nosferatu will be fine, but this one's pushing it a little bit. But I'll be all right. Just trying to do less of it because there's less that you can do with it. Well, I think I feel like I've said this a million times. I rehash it. Right. Okay. There's nothing like new I'm gonna get out of those, I don't think. No, I don't think so. Okay. Talking to myself, just trying to figure out a few things here. Nope, that's on her hand. Gotten too much of this, too much shadow. It's making it hard to see what I got going on there. Mm-hmm. There might be a little thing in there, but what is this? Okay. All right. I should try to find some better references here. Okay. He's getting just a little bit. A little bit lost in here for a second. I want to make sure. Yeah. Oh, it's pear. It's just polar seltzer. You know, it's non-alcoholic or whatever, but it's spiced pear cider. And it has a little bit of a kick to it, you know, just right at the end, which I'm not used to in seltzer, but I like, you know, spicy things or whatever. This is going to sound terrible. Because again, I want to stress that it's not alcoholic. But it almost tastes like Fireball right at the end. You know, it just has that little bit. And I mean, I haven't drank that stuff, and I can't even remember how long. It's been a very long time. But best as I can remember it, yeah, that's kind of that little kick it's got at the end is like Fireball. So if that suits you, you know, it's a good seltzer to pick up. Got it in a variety pack at BJ's, though. I don't know if they have it in cans or not, but. Okay. Of to broom of to broomta of to broomta fala spice cider of pear. You need there, yeah. Well, there's always an Atlani name. If you don't have one, it'll be there in 5 minutes time tops. I that's my best estimate of like how quickly you coin something new if it doesn't exist. It seems like they come so fast, which again, I love it, you know. That's where I aspire to be at one point. Thanks. I try. I actually feel like my Hindi is getting worse, not better. I just, in some regards, learning another language while I'm doing my conlangs is great because it's like helping me to think not of English all the time. On the other hand, it's like language overload. But one day I'll look back at this time and just think, well, it was kind of nuts, but you did it, didn't you? Wow. It's a long time I'm spending on this drawing. Oh, okay. It's kind of got like tassely buttons over here. It's hard to tell. Words already existing in it, Lonnie. No coining anything for this. 25,250 words. I'm sure you are fluent. I don't know that I'm going to be able to be fluent in all of my languages, which is another, I guess, semi-problematic thing, right? Because there's so many of them. It would be hard for me to obtain a perfect level of fluency in all of them. Which is another reason why I got to keep my documents organized, because whenever I got to go back, I got to know what I'm looking at, which has been a problem. But it's cool that you had those. All right. Well, I guess the words for spiced and what the hell did I do here? Right? Yeah. 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 Okay. Here we go. Whew. Oh, it's not. I didn't know. I just wonder how everybody keeps their own straight then, if they don't have a decent fluency in it. Oh, but for what it's worth, I should mention that Tatiana's world does not feature all 23 languages. That's an important distinction to make. Yeah, they are. And I knew that for a long time, but I just resisted it. I think there was a time where I just did not like working in spreadsheets at all, so I didn't do that. And then I was working in Word documents, but then I wouldn't always have those Word documents with me when I was writing. So then I'd just be coining things off my top of my head and just go with it and keep going with it without like going through and, just all sorts of problems. All sorts of problems I created for myself when I could have just made it easier from the beginning. But by the time Chadiana's history, a couple of languages are dead, including the one that I'm trying to get some sentences worked out in, which is why I had to like go through and do this whole stupid ambitious thing right now. A few of them are dead, and some of them haven't fully come into existence yet, or they're on other parts of the world where they just never come into her story. So there's a lot of them that I don't even have to work on, you know. Therefore, more of the long-term stuff. But you know, what am I? Am I 42 or 43? I don't even know anymore. I think I'm going to be 43 this year. I just feel like I'm not getting any younger. I gotta, you know, gotta start moving on these a bit. I'd say that's looking pretty good. Oh, don't. Come on. I'm nervous to start inking it. I think I want to wait till tomorrow on it. Oh, I've drawn a lot today. Not complaining. I've just drawn a lot today. This is like, I think that cat's hair is in everything. I think this is coming up on the end of hour 6 that I've been at this drafting table today. I mean, I took breaks. I always do. And I try to get up and walk around every hour or so. Actually, lately, it seems like every half hour to an hour, especially when working on the languages. I'll get a little tight sometimes. So I'll get up, walk around for 5 or 10 minutes, come back ready to go again. You know, sometimes just stepping off for a second will just help. I find it's good even when I'm drawing, though. It just kind of clears my head for a minute, lets me reset, come back, all's well. Then you keep going. I can't do that during a live stream, which is the part that's tough, especially when I'm doing that long one on Whatnot. Just a reminder, if you go to my profile and go to my link tree, you can find the link to Whatnot for anybody that's got it. I do live commissions on there, and I draw during it too. It's basically like this, but a little bit more interactive in the sense that people can buy stuff during it and get commissions and stuff. Such. What the hell? Why do I feel like those lines are off? They look off. According to the ruler, they're not. Well, I think that is a lie. But I won't argue with the ruler. Anyway, we'll see what's going to happen as far as what am I thinking of here? As far as whether or not I keep doing the later night Whatnots. It's working out pretty good, though. I mean, people are getting commissions and such. I mean, for what it's worth, I'm always happy to take a commission during a YouTube stream. I just, it's not as readily set up for it. You know, Whatnot, you can just like buy it and then I start it. But Put your eyes in crooked this morning. Put your eyes in crooked. Put your eyes in crooked this morning. Oh, I get you. Because the lines, yeah, I guess so. It still looks off. I think I missed that. Yeah, see, I did. I knew it looked off. I missed that. It's just a slight angle. I don't know. It's maybe a little bit weird, but yeah, I know, crooked. I got it after a second. I'm dumb, James. I don't know. Jim, sorry. I seem to be very sensitive to that. I don't like using rulers, right? But I can tell immediately when a line's not straight drawn with a ruler. I had an assistant once, and I could always tell when he messed up the lines when I had him measuring out lines for me. It's just those lines look off, and then I double check them, and it's like, oh man. He was good though. He was just getting nervous all the time. I told him to relax. He knows how to do the stuff. You know, if I lay out that cat one though, I don't really know if it's going to work out. I still can't figure out how to get it to actually look right. Because I think, see the cat, I feel like it's just not going to sit well on the page. This is a completely different one I'm working on now, because I did a sketch of this and a friend of mine really liked it. And she was like, my mom would love a copy of that. So you have to do that one. So it's like, oh, okay. All right. Dragons, cats. I don't know. I feel like all I'm doing is making more print artwork. And I've said to people, it feels extremely irresponsible at this point with how many designs I've got. Yeah, I guess if I keep it over here a little bit, right? Although it should be bigger, maybe. I guess it could work. I just feel like the perspective on it is so weird. But it's the only way to fit it all in into something like this. Poops. All right. Let's see. I don't like the original though, but the cat just looking forward. Is that not this far back? I guess it isn't. Or is that sketch? You know, I think my sketchbook, nope, it's not. I was about to say, I think it's messing with me. See, on this one, the cat's head is like leaned forward a little bit more. Maybe not so big, though. It's got wide eyes. I know, that's all very, very light. Yeah. But we're looking at trying to get a working version of this thing going. That one and that one. I was set. Oh, so, by the way, this one with the snake in it is supposed to be a redo of a Conan piece that I was going to do, but I decided maybe I'm just going to turn it into a Chadiana piece. You know, because I've got not enough Chadiana work to do as it is. I have to get a Kid in a Comic done. I'm past the due date. Should have been working on that tonight, but we're getting into spoiler territory with it, so really got to be doing it on my own time. This piece of art is probably happening because of my cat. That dragon piece is going to happen at some point too. That's also a redo of a unfinished piece. I may have said that on a stream before. I don't know. Possibly. We've entered that period of time in the show and JM's just talking to himself like a crazy person. Ears are too big. Head needs a little bit of work. It's a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There you go. You just have to get that. Gonna exaggerate those eyes a bit. I forgot where I read it, but apparently every cat's nose is unique, like a fingerprint, like a person's fingerprint. I don't know if it's the shape or whatever, but allegedly. I have not looked into it, but I do remember reading it somewhere. My comedy piece is always popular. That's why Gentleman Cthulhu had been so popular. Really want this one, like just obsessed with pushing that bottle off. So, just really wants to see that bottle hit the ground. I'm just not ready to ink the Nosferatu piece. That's why, for anybody wondering, I'm just temporarily putting it to the side. But it will get inked, and then it'll have its flipped companion piece of the original. And in my opinion, superior Nosferatu. Not that I don't like the new one. Don't mistake me. Yeah, but when it's closer to the cat like that, it just doesn't feel as much like the cat is really trying to push it out. Maybe I'm wrong. See, because I feel like the cat reaching out more is better. I just like this wide-eyed obsession with it. Like just do. Just not a care in the world. Just enjoying watching this bottle leave the surface. I find it amazing that cats can do that. Like dogs don't have as much range of motion in their shoulders, but somehow cats do. They're both four-legged, but it's interesting. Oh, I know what that was. I thought it was a cat nail for a second. Nope. It's from my thing here. What on this one? It's hard for me to get the camera any closer than that just because of where all this is, but yeah. The biggest problem is when the cat gets on the drafting table. I hope that's better. No, I'm just working on some pieces for some new prints, like a Maniac, because I already have like 64 print designs. Why not have more? No, I do comics though. I don't do manga. Not that I'm against it. I just, in fact, sometimes I think it would be more profitable. Certainly not less labor intensive. No, I've gotten some requests for and some suggestions for more animal related prints and dragons. Hence why I had a dragon sketch up there before. But yeah, I've got to do it in my own style and way. So it still has to be a little bit of me in a piece. I can't just do like a super kitschy cat sitting on a table or something. I gotta do something a little bit more interesting with it. Gonna have to break out that ruler again for that damn line. Oh, bane of my existence. Here we go. What do we got? 3.5, 3.5, and 4. You just started out and you suck. I didn't just start out and I suck now. No, that's not true. I think everybody feels that way when they start. I certainly did. I was, all right, Jim, I'll talk to you soon. I'll be back next week with it. Have a good night. Thanks for all the help and encouragement. Going back to your question, I guess I could say Preet, GTX Preet, Kima Ki Chut. So I'm gonna say Preet, if that's all right with you. Yeah, it takes practice and time to get good, of course, like anything else. I did not feel like I was all that good. And I still struggle with my, oh, don't say that. Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I guess it means something. Or do you mean like me saying that I suck? I don't know now. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, you just practice and you get better at it. I really did not. I used to teach. I used to tell my students all the time I was not always as good as I am now. And that's, I think, always true for every artist at every point in their development. They weren't always as good as they are at some point. But the only way you're going to get better is by doing it. You know, I mean, I know that's kind of obvious, but it's the truth. I don't need this to be perfect straight, but I just kind of want to get it. Why not? Because I'm just playing with the perspective a bit here anyway. Yeah, but you practice, you get better, you know. That's kind of what happens. Oh, man. Well, and thanks for subscribing, too. I appreciate that. I saw that come up. Anyway, I'm hitting the 2-hour mark. This is usually when I end the show. Or the stream, I should say. I just want to get this a little further. Along there. Yeah, but I'll be back next week. And again, anybody watching, I do if you check out my profile and check out my link tree, I got my whatnot linked on there too. I do a live stream on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. Eastern. So it's like 2 hours earlier than this, and it goes 2 hours longer because I do a 4-hour stream. But I've been getting commissions and stuff over there. You don't even know how to use scales while drawing? I don't use any scales. I mean, I use the rulers, but you know, it's not like every tool you need to use. But I mean, if you're wanting to use them, then yeah, I would say look it up on YouTube and practice, because YouTube's got like everything. Unless you got drawing classes near you or art classes where, you know, people can teach you. But yeah. I'm finding it interesting. I'm getting more new people coming to this channel finally. I'm only finally, after like 50 something videos, now I'm getting new people coming by. Not that I'm like blowing up, right? I'm not going like viral or anything, but it's just almost a year doing this, and finally I'm getting recommended. I think that's kind of cool. So it's funny you mention that. I have a friend who was supposed to do an intro for me, like a small animation. And I've been waiting on that so that I can do tutorial videos on things. No. So yeah, I'm just waiting on that intro video to be done so that I can make tutorial videos. Yeah. I've been waiting on it for a long time. Oh wait, you mean the artwork? That guy Steph Wilson's a friend of mine. You're the one that told me to do more Orlock stuff, Steph. So you know it's still going. I'm doing that with a regular one. I also got this one coming. Wait a second. Just hang on. I'm going to do Nosferatu. That is categorically untrue. That is so false. If you mean I only started drawing Nosferatu because of the original movie, the silent film, then yes, you are absolutely correct, Steph. And as I recall, I drew it off too often for your taste. You would tell me, hey, stop drawing Nosferatu. Nobody knows what it is. Joke's on you, sucker. No. Who is Tony? Oh, Tony. I gotcha. Right. I gotcha. Sorry. I was like, I thought you were just getting weird. It's like it's Jimmy. What is Tony now? I got it. Is he still even watching? I don't know because I can't see who's watching. I can only see the number. Dark Souls stuff, yeah, I do. Well, I'm not drawing that anymore because it's copyrighted, and I don't want to try not to get in trouble here, Steph. Except for Dark Souls, my age. I mean, I said it before. Yeah, I know Anthony. I'm 42. 42 years old. Mm-hmm. Ready for the grave. That's what it is. I know Anthony's cool. We were talking before, and then he kind of went silent. He just stopped. So I have to assume he's not here. If a Dark Souls movie comes out, I guess I'm going to have to get a license from no, actually the license I think has to come from Bandai Namco. But yeah, at least they give out licenses. Konami says they don't. I would have loved to do more Castlevania stuff. But they're like, no, we don't license our products. Meanwhile, that's all they're doing lately is licensing their products because they don't do anything with them. Sorry, their IPs. Let me be more specific. We don't license our IPs. Full of doo-doo there, Konami. That's a little better. Now she really looks terrified because that cat is having a great time with that bottle. Now, in the original sketch, it said exploding potion, but I just feel like that's a little too on the nose. I feel like it should have a graphic on it instead. They're not obscure IPs. There's a whole, Dark Souls is what Dungeons and Dragons was when you were a kid. It's obscure maybe in the mainstream, but it's not obscure, There are a lot of people that know what it is. Especially in the video game community. So, and I mean, to a certain extent, though, Steph, I've only liked obscure things, and that's not to be some try hard or whatever. I don't know. Mainstream stuff just never appealed to me. There's been times where stuff I've liked has become mainstream, like Lord of the Rings, or right now, I would say Nosferatu's kind of becoming mainstream because of the remake, but I don't. I might be, but doesn't nobody own that IP anymore? Yeah, Moody and Dark is my jam. I like that stuff best. I like either almost slapstick comedy, just like absolute ridiculousness, or just really dark and depressing. Like when I read a book or watch a movie, I really want to feel like shit afterwards. I really do. Game of Thrones. I got really into it for a while, and I do have some Game of Thrones art. I did do some at one point, but it's just not really. It doesn't do it for me. There are some things that I thought I would really like. Yeah, I mean, this is comedic. This friggin', I mean, but I mean, for what it's worth, Young Frankenstein's my favorite comedy. So it's, of course, like a comedy based on like a horror movie. Now, that's unfair, Steph, because you know that I can be very funny, especially when I'm punchy, as Carrie likes to say. Whew. Why is and I'm not, usually I end these things at 10 Eastern. Why is it everyone's coming on now? I find this interesting. Like maybe I should move the start time of my thing. Post-apocalyptic is a bit dark for you though, isn't it? Well, actually, anything could be used to pay the bills, Steph. It's just, you have to decide to take the time to work on it. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll try to bring some punch to the Cape when I come next weekend. Well, hopefully not. Actually, hopefully my convention is so good that I'm just like, gonna go and get some lobster now. Nothing else good on. That's funny. I guess there wouldn't be. No, but I find it weird that now I'm getting more people showing up to this thing. Do. My God. Like even you, Steph. I started this at like 8:00. Now you show up. What a time. You like the survivor stories and derelict sci-fi tech. Well, I mean, it is cool stuff. I mean, if there's any kind of science fiction I like, it's usually post-apocalyptic. Because, of course, it's like more dark and depressing. I mean, technically, Star Wars had that feel. And, even though I can't stomach to watch a Mel Gibson film anymore, I loved Mad Max growing up. And I still like the newer Mad Max movies, although I haven't seen Furiosa yet. Really wanted to, just didn't get a chance to. I know you were playing the D&D game. You sent me pictures. I know I'm getting old, but I'm not forgetting stuff that just happened this morning. Or was it yesterday morning? Well, now I am forgetting things. I don't know. It was this week for sure. You sent me a picture of the mech scorpion. I Am Legend was good. It was okay. I want to read the book. I have it. Book of Eli, actually, yes, was very good. I like the Book of Eli. Telling you, Steph, we should be working on your thing. I've been doing better with my studio hours. Things are really moving at a good pace right now. Well, let me put it this way. I'm getting enough time in so that things are moving at the pace they should. I mean, look at this. We're on a live stream right now. How many pieces did I get done? You know, it's going all right. Book of Eli. Yeah, Book of Eli was good. I liked both Judge Dredd movies, even though, you know, the first one isn't the best in the world, you know, but I still liked it. Dredd was great, though. They should have given Carl Urban another film as Dredd. It would have been spectacular. So why don't we work on it? You have a writer who is eager to write and an artist who is eager to draw. And since I'm not stressing about the work and I'm just like sitting down and getting the hours in better because I'm not stressed as much. You didn't see either of the Judge Dredds? I mean, listen, you could theoretically skip the I keep wanting to say Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. Thank you. You could skip that one, but if you do like post-apocalyptic stuff, there is some cool visuals in that I think you would like. I think you would probably like the new Dune as well. I saw both parts, which I feel a little bit guilty about because I still haven't read the book. I think you would like Judge Dredd, but Dredd, the newer one with Carl Urban in it. Oh my god, that movie is so cool. Don't pay the bills yet. Draw cash checks. Management is in charge. Listen, sometimes not every minute of the day needs to be spent on something that's making money. It's just, speaking from experience, and it's getting better. But if I was to write, if that was how it went, I would never do a comic or I would never write a book because that's all just stuff that you develop for the purpose of making future money. Doesn't make you money. You like the Halo game visuals. Okay. See, that's a little bit too techie for me. But I get what you mean, Yeah, if I'm going to do sci-fi, it's got to be beat up. I think the only thing that isn't post-apocalyptic that I like is Minority Report. And I haven't read the book, but what about Blade Runner? Yeah, it can't be cash only, man. I personally don't think that's sustainable. You kind of have the Brian Kong thing going on where you're just like sketch cards constantly. And that's why I want to help you with Wilderrun, because then I can work on some stuff while you're you didn't realize I've been live since 8, Len. Usually I'm done at 10. I can't believe that this is finally popping up in people's feeds, but like I'm getting tired. And it's like now everybody's showing up. Yeah, future money is for the future stuff, but you have to make some investments early. I understand. No, when it's not you, it's just YouTube seems to be pushing it to people now for whatever reason. And actually, I'll get back to your stuff in a second. Actually, the last two shows, people are getting my channel recommended to them, which is kind of cool because I've been at this almost a year. No, has it been longer than a year? Maybe it has. Episode 55. Yeah, it has to be longer than a year. I think I only did like 30 episodes the first. No, that wouldn't be right. I don't know. I like rundown abandoned tech, patched together. You always tire me. I tire you. Hey, Len. Oh my God. I wish I could just pass the show over to you, Steph, and then just clock out here. I guess this cat piece is going to get done. Wild. I really didn't think it was happening, but here we are. Here we are. Oh, you know what though, Steph? You'll like this. Well, maybe not that one, but that's one of my dark fantasy ones I want to do. But going to be doing this one too. Nice dragon. Oh, you'll be happy to know I started that piece for Jeff as well today. I only just drew out a sketch of it. I had to trace it up on the other one. More dragons. I'm going to do this one, but I'm going to like turn it on its side over there. So, you like my dragons. You're going to get 2 dragon pieces. I'm trying to catch up to all the Nosferatu pieces I have. Yawning is great live streaming of the cat with the hat on the pumpkin. Oh yeah, I am going to do that one. I am going to do the one on the pumpkin, but I'm going to wait till closer to Halloween for that one. Oh man. I feel like all I'm doing is just drawing pieces for print. Oh, nice. What is selling that book? No, it's my sketchbook. It's my idea book. Looks a little like Lion Cat from Saga. Oh, okay, yeah. I haven't read Saga. But the art looks cool. And I know the cat you're talking about because he's all over the place. No, Steph, I'm not selling my sketchbook. I could compile the sketches into a sketchbook to sell, but I don't know. I'm not sure still. I want to do a sketchbook, but I don't know when I'm going to arrive at enough pieces for it. Ideas do pay the bills. I think that's I still sell more Chadianas or Kirkland horrors than I do prints, Well, individual print designs. I do sell a lot of prints right now because there's just so many of them, but there isn't a single print that outsells those two things. So technically, no, the developed ideas do sell better. I've been sketching for 2 weeks, all working on languages during the day, during my writing time. So, You're like an agent of chaos. You just come in and like derail the whole thing. Oh my God, 8 people are watching. This is like a new record. It's a book. Print it and sell it. It's going to everything I print and try to sell does not sell fast. We sell slow. Kind of like this, kind of how this live stream's gone right now. I started it at 8 o'clock with only like 3 viewers. And now it's past the time I would normally end it. And now I've got 7. It was 8 before. That's how like everything I make goes. Pretty girls pay the bill. You know what? They don't seem to pay the bills for me either. I mean, given the Pumpkin Witch sells more prints than any other print I've done. Maybe with the exception of the one Nosferatu print that I'm going to actually post tomorrow because there's a lot of theft that goes on with that piece. But anyway, I did that footy bat witch with the root beer. Doesn't really sell. She's more naked than the Pumpkin Witch. You got to find prettier or maybe not so pretty girls, just depends. I don't understand what that means. I just try to draw the types of girls that I find pretty, Len. That's why I created Chadiana. That's why I draw witches too. Goth girls with big noses. That's where it's at. Witches. Yeah, well, they do. It does seem to sell better with women. Although I might not use the term you use to describe my customers. Steph. Hey, Steph, you know what? Len took your job, by the way. Forgot to tell you. Because you never come to my Whatnot streams. Len's been my hype man. He gets me commissions. He comes in and he moderates even when he's not like scheduled to moderate. It's been great. You, on the other hand, are like, oh, I don't get notifications when you're live. Well, I'm not selling. I don't even know what an Orlock is. Not the vampire. I don't know what would lock an oar to a boat. I think that is. I think you have a lot of great ideas, Steph. That one is the worst. That is always surrounded by pretty girls. I mean, I'm not against that. Len needs to get a cut of the profits. My profits aren't so great that Len can get a cut of them. I mean, Whatnot already takes quite a bit out. A $15 sale, I get like 12 and change out of that, Oh, Steph is. I gotcha. Listen, not that I'm complaining. It's money I wouldn't get if I wasn't on Whatnot, but I keep telling Len he should do a show like mine. It's the U-shaped oar holder. How am I going to make that into an Orlock anything? Orlocks. I don't think that's what they're called. I mean, I could be wrong, but that I just never have heard the term Orlock. Lack of profit. Sell the idea book. We need a better agent. Yeah, if I could get an agent, I've I think I've reached out to. It's not like I've had this like robust, you know, mailing to agents and stuff like that. I think I've reached out to like somewhere in the ballpark of 3 to 5. It has not been a lot, but there's never even like let us take a look at this stuff. It's just always no. Um, Given though, agents have been a lot kinder to me than editors usually. At least they'll just say, yeah, your stuff's good. We just don't have a spot for you right now. I've had editors that have practically thrown my portfolio back at me after just like thumbing through it. Good editors are great. Bad editors, SMD. See, I'm already getting punchy. Okay. If you want to start it small, and I suggest. I mean, if you can do it during the day, I would suggest doing it then. But I know that's when you and your wife have yours. Otherwise, I don't know what your schedule's like. I have asked Phil. Phil said no. I'm not going to be asking Phil again, so you can just forget that idea. Although, from what I'm hearing, if you want to get into a decent size Comic-Con, you need an agent now. It's starting to become very hard. It's a good thing I don't do as many Comic-Cons. Yes, I told you that, Steph. I told you that years ago. I mean, I haven't known Phil that long, but it was within the first year I knew him. He was, doing what he normally does, talking smack about all the people he represents. And then I mentioned, would you consider repping me? And he said no. He does, yeah. Yeah, well, listen, we're on my live stream. People can go back and watch this. Stop it. Stop it. You're going to get me. You're going to get me. I wouldn't even say you're going to get me into a conversation that I really don't even want to have, because sometimes it's like, why waste my breath? That's all I'm going to say about it. Oof, man. $13 is a lot of likes on this right now. Who the hell? Oh, Eric Fair was here. Tom was here, at least for a minute. I don't know if all these people are still here or not, but some people dropped in and put a like on it. Controversy equals sales. Yeah, how's that working for Ethan Van Scriver? Whose staff is going to get everybody in trouble? Steph is going to get everybody in trouble. Yeah, probably. I don't really think controversy equal. Well, it can, but I don't think. Man, why are you starting this conversation? You know what, though? I told him to his face, so I don't care. Banging on tables, talking about how everybody's out to get you is not the kind of current controversy that's going to equal sales. That's all I'm going to say about it. Weak sauce, bro. Call him as you see him. I am calling it as I see it, but that's a conversation I'd rather have with him and, not spend my live stream talking about it. But I did tell him in person. I told him he's got to stop banging on tables and ranting to the camera. I think he has, though, or I just don't get notifications for it anymore. Either way, I'm happy about it. I lost one fan for making fun of Elon and him. Oh, man. Well, I can understand that. It's starting to become too hard. Somebody commented on the ad I'm running for my art business. And they're like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. It must be a bummer to have the last name you have." And I was just like, "Well, indeed it is, but we're not related, And I'm sure somebody eventually is going to see that comment and be like, "What is that supposed to mean?" No, I think it's pretty freaking clear what it's supposed to mean. I don't know, though. I don't know how people can see me. I get that part of it. But then you look at Chadiana and you don't at least kind of get a clue, at least about to some degree about what I'm about. This guy is coming around, and what I'm going to do, Steph and Len. Jesus, even when I'm talking to Len, I'm saying Steph because he's just like a growth. Steph loves it when I do these these sketches, but this is how ideas come together. I'm going to I already flipped this one, but I'm going to do one where it's the new guy, and I'm going to flip it and do one where it's the original. Just say no Nosferatu. My t-shirt says Nosferatu. Really, really top-notch seller, that one. It started out really selling, and then I feel like everybody who wanted that shirt bought it already, so now it's just sitting there. It's like everything I do. This is why I had a hard time working on Chadiana for a while. I just got very discouraged. Also, my publisher at the time didn't help. And the languages don't help. Basically, I'm just saying I'm a big mess. Don't give me your money. Don't follow me. It's not worth it. It's just a train wreck. Not true. Sort of true, but not true. Did you mention me in a post? What are you doing? Sharing out my video? That's why it's getting people watching it. Ideas are not slacking. Actually, ideas are how my stuff turns out better. Because if I had drawn this the first way the first idea I had, it would not have come out this good. The 3 other Nosferatu fans. Well, now there's a lot of Nosferatu fans. In fact, this Nosferatu has been so popular, but that I now see people drawing pictures of women getting very intimate with corpses. And it looks like it's becoming a thing. On Instagram. I'm not looking for this stuff. So, just get your minds out of the gutter there. But you just reminded me that I need to get a new sketchbook with your book filled with so many great ideas. Yeah, I have loads of sketchbooks with good ideas that never came to fruition. mostly it was just a me problem. Most days I'm not feeling like my work is very good, but I seem to be in a groove again. I don't know. I forced myself into a schedule that I'm sticking to. I relaxed a bit about conventions, even though my entire life savings is in tables right now because every show is booked. And, for the year, usually I have to wait. Yeah, I shared it. I regret it now. A thing now, bald old Hungarian men with big mustaches. Not even that. I have seen full on, like, you know, slightly meaty skeletons and a woman making out with that skeleton. And it's just like, huh, that movie is really, I'm going to get demonetized before I even get monetized on this platform. The necro, that stuff is, it's almost like flying. I just keep seeing it come down my Instagram feed. I'm like, is this really what Nosferatu did now? Now people are just going to be like, no, it's not just vampires. It's just whole corpses now. I won't hide behind my Twilight fan fiction. I'm just going to be all out there. Why are you people doing unpaid work? Steph, necro community, absolutely. Steph, all I do is unpaid work. I make, actually, for most of my career, and here's a funny thing, right? Even when I've been available to do work, people seem to think in their head that I'm too busy to be bothered. Those are the people that want to hire me. The people that don't want to hire me, obviously, they look at my stuff and say, oh, that's crap. Let's not hire him. But yeah, most of my career, the stuff I've done is working on stuff that's not paid work, but I eventually put it into a form that then will pay me. It's a niche market. It's a market that I'm not going to get into, Len. We're not doing corpses, animals, or kids. We're staying at, well, you know what? That was a bad place to pause. Maybe I could make an exception for corpses just because I do so much dark stuff. But I'm going to hold to it right now that I'm probably not going down that way. Steph, on the other hand, who loves drawing all kinds of stuff. Steph doesn't sharpen a pencil for yeah, it's that's true. He doesn't. But I also feel like he's in a constant cycle of having to create new artwork because it's always there's nothing that just sells over a long period of time. Well, then I'm always winning because this is always sharp. Although I don't use pencil sharpeners. I'm one of those artists that, like, I shave my pencils when I use these things. Oddly enough, though, I've gotten so used to using the mechanicals on my watercolor pieces. Because this is like a 3H and you can see Cyrilla's like chewed on it. Maybe you can see it. I don't know. No, there you go. Maybe. I don't know. No, no, Cyrilla chewed this. My cat. Yeah, well, I'll use this because it's a hard lead to like do the border, right? But typically, I only use those pencils now when I'm working on like an art board, like an illustration board or something. Oh, well, I'm not making little sculptures with the lead stuff. It actually preserves the lead. When you sharpen pencils, they wear down quicker. I'm being economically sound. Olive munches on your bookmarks. I would rather Cirilla do that. Cirilla eats my pencils. She just put a hole in the head of my female. I have two like anatomical like posable figures for drawing. Put a hole in the female's head. She chews on my pencils, my brushes, my sketchbooks. She chews on my books. I think there's probably a tooth mark somewhere on this drawing board. The books are the ones that kill me because I love my books. I won't yell at her because she doesn't know. But sometimes I'll exclaim a little bit like, Cirilla, what are you doing? But yeah. That's probably her, that little like tuft there. You know, she just chews on everything. Just like a dog. Ink and brush or marker, blah, 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 swacking, no inks. Yeah, Steph has become so, why can't I think of the right word for this? Economical? That doesn't sound right, but maybe it is. It's probably because it's past my bedtime already. Anatomical figures. Who are you, Bob Ross did not draw people. He's got, and certainly don't say Picasso. No, these guys. Where are they? I must have hid them on her. I don't know where they are. But yeah, instead of like the drawing, what are those things called? Mannequins. I have two gray. I have a female and a male. You know, I've used them a few times if I can't find a reference for a pose. Happy trees, yes. Paper pencil, quit with fancy crap. It's not fancy. It makes it look good. Working on background painting presentation now. I actually like doing backgrounds. I never used to, but now that I can tell a story with a background, I find it a lot more fun. But that's another thing actually, Len, people have suggested to me just to get a few more sales at these conventions is do some like landscape stuff. But if I do landscape stuff, I got to do it like, you know, I'll do some like fantasy landscapes or horror landscapes. I'm not just going to do like friggin' Bob Ross. Thanks for bailing. Len, get your cut. Yeah, well, I think Len's got to get me more commissions for that to happen. Well, if you're going, I'm going, Steph, because really usually I am. Well, I'm almost at 3 hours now. I usually do a 2-hour stream. But you made it go quick. That's for sure. Okay, everyone. I think that's the bell. I am getting tired. But I have had a good time going into a third hour this time. I'm going to be back next week. The week after, I'm going to see that lunatic Steph Wilson, so I might not be back in time to do a stream on Tuesday in 2 weeks. But next week I will. And, you know, I still got my Whatnot streams on Wednesdays for now. unless I bail on those again. But right now they seem to be working pretty well. You too, Rob. Leslie's very happy that you're happy with your you and Lauren are happy with the crochet piece. Anyway, everyone, take care. I'll see you on Tuesday next week. Just trying to get the music going as usual, you know, the fun part. I gotta get a new song for this, but I don't know what I'm gonna do, and StreamYard's gone for me. Anyway, if you're coming out to Milton, Pennsylvania, on Dead of Winter, Shoe Factory. Next weekend is Dead of Winter, Orchester, at the Mechanics Hall. And a bunch of stuff in March. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you next time on this live stream.